The systematic exclusion of the black farmer has been an ongoing fight since the days of Lincoln. And no one knows that fight better than the one man who's been in the trenches for the last 30 years, fighting the United States government for the rights of black farmers.
Look at these.
Yes.
You got you a big crop. This is an ocean.
This is a beautiful crop. I don't think I've had a crop like this probably in 20 years.
Meet John Boyd Jr., a fourth-generation farmer and founder of the National Black Farmers Association. His 1993 lawsuit against the United States Department of Agriculture led to their first ever settlement with an individual. And the subsequent class action lawsuit resulted in the largest ever settlement from the federal government. But only a fraction of those represented farmers have been paid out. So I'm here on his soybean farm in Boydton, Virginia, to hear how the fight's going.
They look brown, right?
Well, these are beautiful. I'm gonna get you to open one too.
Okay, here I come. What's your method?
You break it right down the middle. You hold it like that.
Okay.
And you press it right down the middle.
It's like a little pea.
You can actually chew them.
Oh!
You see how it tastes?
It's sort of nutty too, and it really is dense. It's like almost, it's like it like sticks in your teeth in a good way. Like fudge almost. It's meaty.
It is.
It's meaty and it's
We
really
soy
dense.
burgers
Yeah,
and
yeah.
mix soybeans up in everything.
If we're going to talk about soybeans, gotta talk about George Washington Carver. Because in the 19th century, after years of cotton and tobacco crop cultivation, the soil was completely depleted. So the hyper-intelligent George Washington Carver taught farmers about the importance of crop rotation and showed them that planting peanut crops will help replenish much-needed nitrogen in the soil. But then the southern farms were left with a surplus of peanuts. So George Washington Carver had to come to the rescue once again. Dr. Carver went into his lab and didn't come out until he published a paper entitled How to Grow the Peanut and 105 Ways of Preparing It for Human Consumption. The peanut was the new cash crop, and both he and the little legume were credited as having saved the southern farm economy, both white and black farms alike. So, if black farmers like George Washington Carver were innovative preservationists, why don't we see more black farmers in America today?
The decline in the black farmer had a few facets to it. One was the Great Migration, and then you had horrific laws of Jim Crow, where blacks weren't able to obtain credit.
Ooh, yeah.
Under the Carter administration, they came up with the Farmers Home Administration that was supposed to help blacks get loans, and it did the opposite. You weren't getting farm ownership loans, you weren't getting farm operating loans. I take a step into the United States Department of Agriculture, and I step back in time. 387 days to process a black farm loan request, and less than 30 days to process a white farmer's loan request. And the top 10% getters in U.S. farm subsidies get over $1 million per farmer, and the average subsidy to a black farmer is $222. No comparison. We're not even in the same league, and we haven't even made it to that book. And as that process became more and more difficult, more and more blacks left farming.
You see, both federal and local governments have worked very specifically to deprive, obstruct, and prevent land ownership by black people. Local banks can deny loans. Local governments can write legislation that bolsters those banks' racist practices. And the same thing happens on a federal level too, which has resulted in catastrophic losses within the black farming community.
So we experienced that from the government and banks, but we also faced that at local markets. There was a time period where tobacco brought a higher price when I sold it through my white neighbor than it did when I sold it on my own.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What year?
This is in the 90s.
Shut up.
Yeah. And the
Does that make you mad? It makes me so mad. I'm sorry.
Well, it makes me mad. It gave me the drive and the motivation to want to fix it.
Yes.
And that's what I sought out to do, and that's what I've been doing for the past 30 years.
When black farmers sued the USDA for racial discrimination in 1993 and won, they proved in court that the federal government was systematically denying loans and financial support to black farmers. That led to the largest civil rights settlement in U.S. history. But that settlement money has only made it to roughly 20,000 farmers of the 100,000 plus that were represented in this suit. Why? Because bureaucratic red tape has caused the proverbial can to just keep getting kicked and rebundled under new bailout packages.